What is the Kundalini? And are there underground and underwater bases? Tune into my talk show, Universal Talk, Saturday, February 27th, 2010, where we will explore the evidence. We welcome Dr. Richard Sauder. Richard is the first person to systematically popularize the topic of underground and underwater bases and tunnels. He is the author of 4 books: Underground Bases and Tunnels, What is the Government Trying to Hide?, Kundalini Tales, Underwater and Underground Bases, and the Sauder Report, Notes from the Underground. More information about Dr. Sauder can be found at his website, www.keyholepublishing.com/Sauder. Tune in as we will be discussing the Kundalini experience and underwater bases on Universal Talk, Saturday, February 27th at 10 a.m. Welcome to Universal Talk. On today's show, we ponder the exploration of the Kundalini phenomenon and the possibility of underwater bases. Let's present the case. First, we must consider the human experience. Are we truly more than just living flesh that lives up to about 100 years and then simply dies? Or are we actually spiritual beings living a human experience? And are there underwater bases that we do not know about? And if so, what are they being used for? What if human beings were actually energied beings that had the ability to create their own experience? What if, as in everything, we were energy, and the human body was just an extension of our spirit or soul, created to act as a guidance system? If one part of the body is in dis-ease, that may mean that the spirit or soul is out of alignment with Source. What if, by concentrating the thought towards an immediate balance, something like a Kundalini experience could happen? In regards to the underwater bases, what if they existed and were populated and operated by ETs? Could that explain the countless number of sightings of USOs leaving and entering the waters across the world? In a moment, we will have Dr. Richard Sauder on the show. Richard is the first person to systematically popularize the topic of underground and underwater bases and tunnels. He is the author of 4 books: Underground Bases and Tunnels, What is the Government Trying to Hide?, Kundalini Tales, Underwater and Underground Bases, and the Sauder Report, Notes from the Underground. More information about Dr. Sauder can be found at www.keyholepublishing.com/Sauder. Hello, Dr. Richard Sauder. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So what direction do you want to go this morning? Do you want to start off with the Kundalini, maybe?
Well, that's up to you. I'd be happy to. What aspects of that would you like to discuss?
Well, from my understanding, a Kundalini experience has to do with some energy centers of the body. Am I correct in that, or maybe you can?
Yeah, Kundalini is an ancient Sanskrit term that comes out of the Vedic literature of South Asia from centuries and centuries ago. And it simply refers to a hyperconscious, super powerful energy that animates the human organism and is concentrated, especially in the nervous system, most especially so in the spinal column and associated neural complexes, and which in the yogic tradition are referred to as chakras. But yes, the Kundalini is an energy that all human beings have in them. It's a cosmic, superconscious or hyperconscious energy that pervades the universe, in my understanding, but is particularly concentrated in human beings, in their bodies and in their beings in the way that I just described. And quite a few people experience Kundalini energies. Now, of course, in the yogic tradition, there are various techniques that have been designed over the centuries to consciously awaken the Kundalini so that the conscious mind of an individual, so to speak, is aware of it and interacts with it in waking awareness, or in hyper-waking awareness, if you will. But when those methods would include various types of meditation and yogic practices, pranayama, various types of hatha yoga poses and other types of exercises, chanting, sacred chanting, and these are just some of the techniques that might be used to awaken the Kundalini consciously. But many people experience a Kundalini naturally. It just happens. I don't know how many, but I'm sure the number runs into the many thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands or millions. And it can lead to psychic episodes or unusual phenomena such as telepathy or clairaudience or even levitation, sometimes seeing UFOs and things like that would be associated with it. In some cases, there is, and in my case, on a number of occasions over the years, there can be an accompanying release of tremendous energy within the body, concentrated in the spinal column area. And it basically feels like it comes up from the coccyx region at the base of the spine.